Kuşlara olmasın. Alo. Bar. Normalnie.
You think it's more likely to be a Void Spirit that's
Maybe, you know,
than an Invoker?
because they've been really theory crafting about what melee heroes could replace the slug.
Okay, I understand.
It's one of the most difficult heroes to it's almost impossible to catch Void Spirit. Kind of fits what 9 class wants to do. Be very annoying. You have 2 astral step charges. You have the simulate is also very difficult to catch. Be annoying. If you get the shard, you can farm the camp. You just put down 1 remnant and you're gonna be getting the farm. But to your point, Jenk, it's about this Dawnbreaker. I assume they pick Nyx Assassin to block the Dawnbreaker and then take it for themselves.
I think so. You cannot pick Dawn into Nyx. It's like Nyx Silencer, but Warlock and Elder Titan had already been picked, and Silencer is played as a 5. So they picked the only 4 position that counters Dawnbreaker that PV is willing to play, that 9 class is willing to play, which is Nyx Assassin, and then they get the Dawnbreaker uncountered. And we saw yesterday in the Heroic series how strong Dawnbreaker can look, especially into Enigma.
10 seconds.
As a counter to the Black
every
Hole.
choice you've made if you hurry.
There's straight up nothing you can do. It's an AoE disable, global, BKB pierce.
I mean, you're not winning that team fight against the Rock, the SF Requiem, and the Dawn coming down, you know. It's so difficult. And at the same time, why their draft is so solid right now, if you don't take the team fight, there's a Nyx hunting you with the Solar Guardian.
With the Dawn coming in, yeah, exactly.
Like, it is so hard.
Cheap setup that they can get the kills pretty much anywhere on the map. But also looking at the Pvision's draft, you do have a lot of team fight as well. Invoker with the Cataclysm, ET, Ulti, and
it takes time though.
But it does take time. I think this lineup is a bit on the slower side. If it's going to be Invoker from the mid lane, which I think it's going to be, with the Helm of the Dom and this Void Spirit position 4, it's still going to give you a good time. You're going to hit Enigma, you're building into Helm, you're building into drums, these type of items, you're building into potentially a pipe. You just want to be tanking up, and then you're going to hit the crucial time with all these summons, all these zoos, and you're going to be ready to take the fight, but it needs a little bit more time.
5 seconds.
I agree. I do think an Invoker mid lane looks better here. All of the things that we talked about against the SF, the Cold Snap, the small instances of damage, like, all very good against Dawnbreaker as well. She ults in, Invoker drops a Meteor plus Cold Snap, like she can definitely feed. Whereas a Void Spirit, you're kind of initiating, and Dawnbreaker ult can counter that initiation, so you probably want to put that on less of an important role. I also feel like for 9 class, Void Spirit makes a lot of sense. He's really hard to kill. You just need to get level 6. That's the only concern here, is that he can't really run around pre-level 6 and be invulnerable like he could on Monkey King, by jumping on the trees.
Here, I'll bet. First-rate hero.
I mean, the issue with the Void Spirit is like he seems like a very different replacement for the Slug and Monkey, right? Because the way you set up for the ganks, I think it's a lot harder as a Void Spirit. Like you see someone, you have to jump in and then land your Aether Remnant, and the disable is not as reliable, I would say, as a Slug
10 seconds left.
Or Monkey King.
8.
So I think the execution level of this hero, if it's indeed a position 4, is going to be way, way higher.
Something else that 9 class is doing on these heroes is the vision game, right? That's something that at least Void Spirit is pretty good to do. And a Phantom Lancer.
Oh, May, what are you doing?
He just knows how to deliver on the main stage. Let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much in the way of clearing the PL.
And also, it's a very good lane matchup into the Enigma, which I suspect is the
5 seconds.
biggest reason they wanted the Phantom Lancer here. And it's also really good against the Invoker. You dodge the spells, you can land the combo.
Pvision will need some AoE, something that can build into Battle Fury. I'm thinking about, these jugs maybe. They played a lot of Kunkka in the safe lane a couple of months back. He builds into Radiance, not the best thing against Nyx Assassin, but you have Cleave, you have Radiance against BL Illusions. Could be something that they are going to be willing to pick up.
Yeah, if you're thinking about jugs, I think you should focus on the draft, but maybe Juggernaut or Lifestealer? Like you've Radiance against the
and you have the Rage against the Nyx.
Choose your hero.
Yeah. There you go.
It felt really good against the other heroes of Xtreme Gaming, and I think against PL, it's an okay matchup. It's decent. You can slowly clear through all the illusions, like kite the fight for long enough to kill the PL.
But the thing you have to worry about is the BKB piercing disable from the Dawn and the Warlock, which is going to be very, very annoying for the Lifestealer in the team fights.
Yeah, 100%. And I do think there comes a point in Dota where Lifestealer does not answer PL. Once he has enough items, once he has a pipe to back him up, so the Radiance isn't clearing through the illusions and revealing who the real PL is, I do think that late game, PL destroys Lifestealer.
But are they going to be able to get there, right? We've seen Phantom Lancer only one time so far. It did not have any success, and it felt
10
like
seconds
because
left.
you were able to
Well,
close the game
8
out a lot earlier than those items required for PL. He needs a lot of
starting
I
time.
mean, I
5
don't think they need to
seconds,
get
with
there
or
though. I
without.
think in the early stages, their team fight with the SF, Warlock and Dawn is just going to be enough to carry them through the game. They're going to get the objectives easily, get Roshan on their hand, and the game does not have to get to late game for the PL to beat the Lifestealer.
I will say, when played from ahead, I do really like Lifestealer against PL. And let me just read some of Satanic's records real quick. These are records over across all TIs. He's #1 for least deaths, #1 for GPM, #1 for XP per minute, #1 for last hits per minute. This guy is good. If somebody's going to be ahead, it's him.
It's definitely him. I think this game is going to be very, very slow. I think we're going to be seeing only a couple of kills in the first 10 minutes, and it does kind of benefit both of the teams. I also feel that Jinkyu will need to do a lot of work because he is pretty much the only stun. He's going to be setting things up. Sure, you have Warlock ulti, you have Dawnbreaker ulti, but he needs to be the one
Everything's
in the
follow-up
front line.
now.
Pretty much
Yeah.
everything is a follow-up.
All right. I like where you guys are putting this. It feels like there's going to be so much on the line about these lanes, exactly how this game is going to go out. But I want to get some words of confidence from one of our team's coaches, and that's Estinian Slacks.
Absolutely, words of confidence coming from this man many times before in this tournament. Just as the first one. You feeling confident now?
Yes, it's impossible not to feel with this energy from the crowd, South Americans, Brazilians, CIS, everyone cheering for us. Thanks, guys.
Impossible to fail. You know, that's not what everybody says. I've been reading a few threads. Says, you know, ban the Slark, ban the Monkey, or playing against
Right, get
Pvision,
ready.
easy win. Do you agree with that?
This TI team is stars aligned. I thought Nigma would win, and then they lose. And then I have no option of hero. They ban full hero pool. Then I look, everything purple, and it's Void Spirit. They
Okay.
didn't count with it.
That's a coach right there. I look around, see something in the room, and go, that seems like a good hero. Hell yeah, all right, I like that.
You came dressed for it.
Yes, thank you. I am actually Void Spirit. I'm glad I can motivate you, my friend. All right, let's get serious here for a second, though. We do have some pretty interesting picks here. Phantom Lancer, what the hell is this? I would never ask that to the director. Do you have any idea what they're planning with that hero, and are you ready for it?
We tried 2 times ourselves. We always lost. Maybe they make it work.
All right, everybody, 30 seconds.
I'd be happy to see it work on the sense PL can work, then I play next game, but I think it will not.
Okay, does not think it's going to work.
Yo,
All right,
fucking
all right, all
working.
right. Now,
you
I know
know.
I'm not supposed to ask a father about his children, who's his favorite child, but out of the team here, come on, you got to make
Yeah,
one
child,
choice. Who's going to be
Pvision
your
cada
MVP
vez.
on this game to get you a first win?
Pvision cada com
9 class.
9 class!
You've trained hard to be
All right,
here.
We'll
Real
see
hard.
it.
I've
Will
seen
he
it.
be
Not
the 9
watching you in
class that
secret,
we've seen
but
so many
it's all
times
about
before,
board.
or that position 7 Centaur? We'll find out very shortly. Thank you so much, my friend. It was a pleasure to see you, and we'll get it to game number 1.
Thank you very much there, Slacks and
Thank you,
Estinian indeed.
Slacks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Barclays Arena. Let's get into the action here. The lower bracket final, and of course, is Xtreme Gaming up against Pvision and Fog. We're getting some exciting heroes coming from the final day of the International. 9 class bringing out this Void Spirit. And obviously on the side of Xtreme Gaming, we're getting an Arme PL. I think we saw the stat. It's only been picked once in this tournament. Did not win.
Nope.
Arme, he's ready to try and show us how it's done.
I mean, we're in for a treat here, right? We have masterminds, of course, from both coaches, but so many iconic heroes coming in. Even though, like you said, we don't see the PL too much, a lot of these players do love to play it. It just unfortunately doesn't work in a lot of situations nowadays. But we're in for a treat for sure. Look at all the team fight we've got, Owen. Some of these games, they've gone, I mean, most of these games have gone quite long. And if this one does go long, holy moly, look at the wombo combos that can come in, right? We've got Exort Invoker, so we have the potential for the Cataclysms later on with Black Hole. And then, of course, from the side of XG, Fatal Bonds with the Dawnbreaker, with the SF. Let's see who can execute better.
And talking about some of these other heroes that we haven't really been seeing too much, you know, Jinkyu has had some insane games yesterday. He was popping off time and time again. Definitely giving them the confidence to bring in something that we just haven't been seeing that much as well. The Nyx Assassin. I mean, why haven't we been seeing this hero? And what do you think's made it this game for the one that Jinkyu said, hey, Give me the Nyx Assassin.
I think Panel touched on it pretty well there, right? They were trying to cover and make sure that this Dawnbreaker can have a good time, but also with what he had seen already, he saw the ET and the Invoker. So a pretty good matchup in terms of mid-game and late game for that Nyx Assassin to disrupt combos. Top lane.
So we're going to be able to trade back pretty nicely here with the punches of Ducalis.
And you're asking also, sorry, why we don't see it as much. The weak lane, right? That's just what's always been the case. After they removed the Mind Flare, one-shotting those creeps to have that recovery outlet, it did make it a lot more difficult to play.
So...
Stop the black hole. There's ways to prevent the Invoker from getting spells off his XXS.
They're gonna have the Sunstrike. It's gonna connect onto Xingqiu. Got the spike
Blood
down
has
over the
been
blood
spilled
grenade.
for the
That'll do
first
it,
time in this
Ducalis.
game.
Laying down the blood grenades here to get that first blood secured.
A very, very strong lane that Pvision has set themselves up top, pretty much completely countering the Dawn and the Nyx in terms of laning phase.
Yeah, it certainly feels like it. I mean, we're seeing, right, XXS and Xingqiu, they can step up, drop their spells, but if the burst of those combos doesn't get the kill, the right clicks and the chase down from Ducalis and Satanic, it feels like it's going to win out pretty much all the time.
It really should, honestly. The problem with Nyx Assassin, like we were saying with the laning phase, he hates laning versus strength melee heroes.
Yep.
It just is the case.
He's got to be a bit cautious here. Getting caught, stepped up, the Sunstrike off the mark.
Close.
But he will still be chased out here.
Hey, look at Xingqiu. He's hugging XXS with the Carapace to try to reflect that Sunstrike back. Off the mark there slightly, though. No one. As we get the chance to look at these other lanes, XM versus no one, having a very good time so far. And same thing for bottom. We're seeing that PL, Ame, feeling no threat versus the Void Spirit and the Enigma so far here. As I don't think he will. That's probably why they also wanted this PL. They see the lane, it's a Void Spirit Enigma, and they have a Warlock, which is going to keep him completely sustained in the lane. So Ame is set up for success.
Sure.
How to get that far.
Overall, if he does get this good start, hits these timings as the PL, you know, how well kitted out is Pvision's lineup to deal with a Phantom Lancer in the later stages of the game?
Later, in very late game, it can be very problematic. The one really good thing that they have is the ET and the Invoker combos, right? ET, we saw yesterday what Natural Order can do in later stages, especially when you're versus a hard agility carry, since it puts you to 0 for that armor if you don't have any plus armor. So can make a difference for a Lifesteal to focus fire, and also the spells are going to clear those illusions maybe a bit easier than some other games.
Sitting in the mid, no one doing well to be able to match the last hits really of XM, but overall the pressure from XM continuously keeping the wave shoved in. He's getting to the point now where he's starting to get a few hits onto that tower. The rotation coming in from 9 class.
This top lane, XXS is getting 0 CS. He's at 9-1. He was at 8-1 2 minutes ago, and immediately they're just constantly pushing him off the lane. So the problem of that dual lane, dual melee,
it's going to be a rough start for him. It's almost to the point where it's going to require some sort of big play to happen as soon as he hits the 6, so he can get involved somewhere else and pick up some action.
No, absolutely.
From this lane, unlikely to be finding anything too much with how Ducalis and Satanic are playing it against him.
And we do have to mention, right, Xingqiu and XXS kind of have been pretty strong dictators of mid-game.
They've crushed a lot of lanes.
They've been amazing in a lot of these games to get XG to a good percent. If XXS has no game.
Sunstrike coming in. He got right-clicked with Ducalis.
Super close to dying there. Ducalis having boots and windlace already this early is proven to be very problem. This is a level 3 Dawnbreaker, Owen.
This is going to be one of the roughest starts we've seen XXS have here on the main stage, right?
I think it's the roughest start in the entire tournament that I've seen from him so far. So that lane in particular has been fantastic for Pvision.
Oh yeah, Satanic is having an absolute dream of a time. So in the mid, Xingqiu having to make himself useful as he turns up, helps out XM take out a kill on Ducalis.
So far, 9 class, literally just been stacking neutrals. He's just running around. He was trying to manipulate creep waves, but now it's just been the stack game. DM, the nice thing about this Enigma pick versus the PL and the Warlock is it's a very passive lane from PL Warlock, so DM isn't getting sacked down here, even though this, the Void Spirit isn't really doing too much just yet. As we see no one, put the point in the Wex, he'll meteor the camp, and they'll give the Void Spirit the mid lane to make sure that 9 class can get something at the least here. But you won't
Radiant
get
might want to haul some ass
Talking
down
about
to their
9
bottom
class,
tower.
obviously this was
Well, they still got one.
expected that he was going to be trying something different after his sort of 2 main roaming melee supports that he has been winning game after game on get banned out. In this case, of course, being the Monkey King and the Slark. Do you sort of see the concept behind the support Void Spirit?
Not as much as some of the other options that we have seen. I think there's some interesting potential with the Call of the Void that is untested, but we'll have to see.
Battle for the Wisdom pairs. We're going to have Satanic and Ducalis pushing on. TP's coming in. XXS, he's going to get taken out. XM will turn up to make sure the Pvision pays for this one, but not before they take out a second kill, Pvision. I mean, they're going to have to try and deal with Satanic, but he's still not that easy to take out, as he's going to be able to step across. He's got Infest at the ready, so he'll be able to hop into the creep. XM at least will secure the Shrine of Wisdom for them. The Satanic coming in. The essentially getting the cleanup on what pretty much was, what, 4 heroes that he's getting the XP from. I mean, they may have got the XP from the Wisdom on XG, but
Radiant's
overall,
middle tower is
Satanic
about to be a pile of
absolutely coming out
smoking
on
rocks.
top of this.
That's a lot of extra health already for this Lifestealer.
And the game for XXS just continues to crumble.
That is an unbelievable start for this Lifestealer, and it's a hero, as we said, versus PL. You want to be ahead. He's going to have really good timing on this Radiance.
Oh, yeah.
Getting kills like that. The Lotus, as we saw coming into play massively, heals up his mana HP, has that creep, and yeah, wow.
I mean, that's huge. The tips coming out between the two of them, Satanic and Ducalis, because they know that they have absolutely crushed the start of this game in that top lane.
Absolutely, and DM, he's actually getting pressure on this bottom.
This is a lot. 8 minutes in.
This is a phenomenal start for the side of Pvision, even though, as we said, Ame is having a free farm start. That death on XM hurts a ton. A tower drops. This is a crazy early game here so far from Pvision. Yeah, as you said, XXS, how's he going to recover? Level 4 Dawnbreaker, almost 9 minutes in. Rarely see this from these offlaners to get sacked this hard, to get punished this hard.
And if Pvision are able to sort of keep this pressure up and continue to grow this early game lead and start sort of taking these objectives off XG's side of the map, when you have a PL as the carry, like how early can Ame turn up, or how difficult will it be for him to get involved if sort of the time starts ticking and he has to?
He might just have to. I see he's going the defusal route, but we'll have to see, because it is Ame. Ame really does like to hit those creeps until he feels like he has that ideal timing, but yeah, we'll have to see, because this early game is devastating. Pvision able to maximize the farm, as we see no one. Dominator's finished. He's jungling. They're giving the Void Spirit the mid lane. They have a pressure in the bottom lane for the Dominator, so they have the double Dominators already going.
Yep.
So the farm is going to increase massively, and for the side of XG, making a rotation to Satanic, that's not possible. How are you going to kill this Lifestealer? At this point in the game,
this
it's
sort
not
of
going to
start.
happen.
I mean, Satanic is going to be a huge issue. The Radiance timing is going to be fantastic on Satanic.
Yeah.
And
a solo kill.
To just head over and take that down. Both Ame and XM not able to do anything to save their support in that situation.
This is a massive problem for the side of XG right now. DM is already starting to take over and swing toward
He's just ready to walk over. Get the Eidolons out. No one's got the setup. Xingqiu, they'll try and run. The cold snap is going to stop his escape. Another kill for Pvision as they just continue to dominate this early game.
And look at the push, right? With the double Dominators, with the Forge Spirits, they can really start to knock down this tower. And for XG, maybe not the best wave clear. They kind of have to take a fight if they want to try to defend this tower. Dawnbreaker has hit 6.
Okay.
Oh, let's see the Solar Guardian.
So what happens here in the mid? With the setup, Solar Guardian's coming in. XM will survive for now.
Only just.
So they are able to keep the SF alive. Sunstrike's attempted, won't connect. But yeah, it does mean that they're not going to be able to try and look for an aggressive move around the Solar Guardian to try and give XXS that chance to catch back up in this game.
It's almost like they poked, forced it, and then just were like, okay, we got the Donald, back up, everybody farm again. 3K lead first 11 minutes here. And I believe that is the relic essentially done for Satanic.
It's got to be one of the faster Radiances, right, at this pace.
100%. I mean, and look at his health, right? I always try to factor this one in because of how much you get from the feast. That's a lot at the 11-minute mark. He already has 1,400 HP on a Lifestealer with Phase and Abracer.
And just the nature of the matchup as well, right? You can't be feeling good as the PL having to play a game into what's going to be such an early Radiance Lifestealer.
No, definitely not. Then, like you said, maybe there's no way that Ame wants to turn up until he has 1, 2, maybe even the 3rd item in particular. And is an unreal start. Level 9 as well, too, for Satanic. Have to point that one out. So being completely left alone, all 3 cores super high level.
Yeah, the last big lifestealer coming in very hard here from Pvision.
And they didn't punish, you know, this lane bottom in particular, the Void Spirit plus the Enigma. There was nothing that happened to DM. So 9 class, he's 6, DM is 9, and as you said, the towers really getting pressured here.
No, they really are. And of course, on the other side of things, you look at Pvision's towers. The middle's taken a little bit of damage, but the side lanes, they've barely been touched at all.
Yeah.
So the pressure really adding up here against XG in the early game.
And just not easy for XM and for XG in particular to set up a team fight, right? Because there is a lot of annoying abilities. .4K lead continues to grow. No one purchasing up the drums as well too. Very early timings here.
Maybe if they can get sort of the supports, 6s online for both. Jinky's got his available now, and Xnova of course has the option with the Grimoire. They can definitely try and piece together a team fight to sort of slow down what Pvision is accomplishing in this early stage.
If they get given the opportunity, right? Pvision is a team that really likes to play around controlling tempo, playing around these dominators until they have that ideal timing for a fight. So punishing these dominators, it feels very difficult. Look at the lanes.
And look at the timing. So yeah, Phase Boots Radiance, 13 minutes on Satanic this game.
Has to be the fastest, right?
Sweet hell out of Radiant's bottom.
Not war, no?